Folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on something a little different. This is not my design, it is not my piece, but I had a customer come to me and asked if I knew of anybody who could repair a necklace. And I took a look at the pieces she had and I said, sure, I can do it. I'll have it for you next week. So we are going to repair this necklace. Now, in looking through the pieces, I think there are a couple missing, so we're going to see if we can substitute. So let's turn down and we'll look at this. The first thing I do when I get a repair job is if they have anything still together, I take a picture of that so I can get it back as close as possible to what they had originally. Now, sometimes you just can't get it, and if there's no picture, then it's like, well, hopefully you can give me a description of what it was because I'm flying blind here. But this lady brought this, and you can see it's well, this is the picture I took. It's probably about 3/4 of the way still here, but then the break was sort of in the middle here. I do notice that she is missing a few things. From my picture and from the pieces. This little carnelian piece, as you can see in the other three, have one of these little rings, then one of the daisy spacers, the carnelian, another daisy spacer, and then the little ring again. Well, we have the ring and the one daisy spacer, but this daisy spacer is not the same style. So I'm thinking that we're missing one of these and one of these, and possibly another one of these as well, because that looks like that should have been a set, and that may be where the pendant was hanging. There is no bail, so I am going to add a bail because I think that that's important. I wouldn't be surprised if that is where her stringing wire broke, was the missing bail. But I do notice that the pendant here has one of these same daisy spacers, I'm pretty sure, as this, rather than this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little liberty here. I'm going to take the pendant apart. I'm going to put the daisy spacer in with the carnelian, if it's the same size. I'm fairly positive it is. And then we'll put this piece onto the pendant. And then I am going to add a bail to hang our pendant from. I think that will be a little bit more sturdy for her. So let's get it out, and we'll take a look at the honest to God pieces here, which is in this, I have in this box right here. Now, as you can see, this is a different size. And this is a pretty piece. She told me this was originally a anniversary gift, so we do want to get it back as close as possible to what she wanted. And so what we'll do is we'll get some stringing wire out. We'll take this apart. We'll put, now I say we're going to put them on either side, but we can't do that because we have to make sure that we're as close as possible to what we're making here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to string from here down to where it broke here, and then we will compare the pieces in this side to this side so that we can get them to be the same size. I have counted them. We could just do it that way, but a lot of these Heishis are, as you can see, they're a lot bigger. Some are small, some are big. So we want to make sure that we get them to be about the same length from here to here. So what we're going to do is when we get to this point, we will put these on. However, what we're going to do is find a scrap piece of wire, string this little portion on it so that we can compare it side to side. And then once we get these comparable to size and we will then divide what is left up, and we will then put that half on this section here. But I think the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to cut this lovely hunk here apart. Make sure this daisy spacer is the same kind, because I see this piece up here is different. So let's put this aside for now, get our flush cutters out, and carefully cut this loose. And let's compare this daisy spacer to our other one. Now it appears to be just a teeny touch different, but it's close enough. I think we can make it work. So that is now with this, and this piece is going to come over with this. So we'll take our pin out of here and get a new one. So I'm going to use a ball head pin here. So that's going to make a slight difference in its appearance, as you can see here. Actually, I don't think it'll fit, but if it will stay, if it doesn't go over the ball, oh, it didn't, good. So we'll put that little piece in here. That was an extra piece, fairly positive. Let's take a look. There's the pieces for this, and yeah, this is an extra piece because, like I said, I think that there is something missing here. So we're going to put this on here, and then this here. Then we'll do a bend, and I am going to get a bell, and I'm going to wrap this directly onto the bell. Up and over and around, bring her down and give her a gap so that when you do bring the bell in, you have that spot for it to sit. So there's that piece. And now I do need to find a bail to put this on. Okay, I've got a bail out, so we're just going to string this up onto here. In place. Now I was thinking about using a smaller bell, but I actually think this will work better with the turquoise pieces. So now we want to bend this up so that when it goes around our base wire, it's where we want it and not way down on the cut the excess wire off here and tuck it in. And now our pendant is all ready to go on as soon as we get our necklace ready for it. There we go. So we'll get out some stringing wire, and I think I'm just going to use, well, I have some turquoise here. I think we'll just use turquoise. And we'll need a few, well, I'm going to just do this first bit right on the spool. So we'll bring our necklace piece over in here. untie where she's got it tied to preserve it in place. And I appreciated her doing that because it is very nice to have a better idea of what you're doing. Because I might think it was fine in the other way, but she might not, or any way I make it. So what we'll do is put this side away for right now. And these are part of our big pieces, so we'll put those aside. And then this is our strand, what we're going to work with. So we'll just pull all this right off of our beading wire carefully. And we want to keep our clasp piece here, but it's on a round jump ring and I'm not fond of them, so we'll just flip that aside and I will put it on a regular one when I redo it here. This is a cool clasp. So now what we want to do is just go straight down the line the way they had it. Got our little guys on, so it is time to put on the metal and carnelian pattern. But first I'm going to take my cleaning cloth and see if I can't clean these just a little bit. They are sort of tarnished with age here. We can get a little bit of it off, not a lot. All right, where are you, little guy? Ah, still in there. As you can see, I am getting some of the tarnish off. And I probably should have done this with the one I put back on the but I did not, so we will make do with what we have. Okay, so now that we've got those cleaned up somewhat, we'll put this section together, which is this little guy, then the daisy spacer, the carnelian piece. Come on, baby, go on there. The other daisy spacer, and the round. So down she goes, and there we are. And now we'll put these pieces on, which are before this section here. Okay, so there we have that. Then we're back to this little piece again. So let's get these a little bit of their tarnish rubbed off somewhat. put this piece on here and add a bead stopper. There we go. So now we need to put a bead stopper here. And then I'm going to find another scrap piece of beading wire, soft flex, and oh, that's a big enough one right there. This is chrysoprase. That would have actually gone nicely in that too, I think. So now what we want to do is we're going to count these beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, which is not a bad number for me, but it is for some people. Now we've got to go and get our other beads out, and we're going to have to, we'll put 13 beads on here and see how it compares in size. So we probably want to find our thinnest ones out of here, because there's some pretty thick ones in here. So like this one and this one. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5. Six, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, and 13. Now we'll put that on this wire and see what we end up with as, well, actually I don't even need to do that. I have half of the strand over here on this side, so we won't need 13. We will need, let's see how many I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we will need 6. So let's go with this one, these 2, this one. There's 4, and here's 6. So now what we need to do is take these off of here, these 6. Come on, baby. Nope, I don't want that piece. I want you guys down here. Now we'll put the bead stopper back on the little guys here. Now we're going to put all of these onto this wire, and then we'll compare them from side to side as far as size is concerned. And we'll see if maybe we need to switch some of these smaller ones in here for for a bigger one or two, so that we can keep our sizes comparable to each other, but still have the right number of beads. As you can see, ordinarily it would be, oh, we need to take off one of those beads, but I don't want to take one off because, well, maybe I do. It's not like very many people are going to sit there and count your beads. One bead off would fix this to be the right length, and that might leave us, because earlier when I counted the remaining beads, they were uneven amount. So let's see if they are still. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yes, they are an uneven amount. So if I took one of those off there and put it on here, these would be even. And those would be even. And this would be the same length, even though it's actually one segment different. Now, if I wanted the segments to be this, well, they're fine like this, I think. They'll work. They're the same length, and that's what we're going for. So now what we need to do, since we have all these on, is to take our, oh, I had three big ones here too. I forgot about those three. So it isn't an uneven amount because those three are going to go 1, 1, 1. So let's find the shortest of these beads. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off one of the smaller width beads in here, like say this one, and put this bigger one in, and then put this over here and see if that will make us have about the same length here. So we'll put this larger one here along with this one, and now we'll put this one over here because it's a shorter length, and see if now we're the same length about. Yeah, we are. See how well that worked out there? So now we will put these aside, put this baby back together here. Now we're at the middle point here. So what we're going to do is take one of these little piles of 9, and we're going to bring it down here. Come here, you guys. And then our bail. So we were going to now put these 9 onto here. And we'll put our bail on. Oop, come here, baby. Now I'm going to get a little piece of rubber tubing to put in the middle of this. That will keep it from rubbing so much, as well as fill in some of the gap of the bail. Okay, so I'm going to take my rubber tubing and I'm going to put it through the bail here. And even though it's not tight in the bail, it doesn't matter because those turquoise pieces are going to keep this from coming out of here. So we'll cut this off right as it comes out. Oops, didn't quite get it all. There we go. Put our rubber tubing away. We don't want to lose that. It comes in quite handy. Now we're going to put this little piece of rubber tubing down here on here. And then we'll put the bail down so it slides over the top of it. There we go. Now we'll put on the other, come on babies, other 9 beads. Okie dokie, there's those on. Now what we need to do is go get those little pieces from out of the box, this little piece right here, and we'll clean it up a little bit with the silver pieces. And get those on. So it is little round spacer, daisy spacer, okay. Now we're to this hunk right here, so we'll just pull it off here and put it onto here. Okie. Now we can put this wire, we don't need it anymore. We can put this bead stopper here on this. And then we need to get out our other little pieces. I think we're going to need just a touch more wires, so we'll get some more off the spool and move our bead stopper down, and then move all our beads down. Now we have our last little piece here, and we're going to get the cloth back out and see if we can't clean these silver beads up a little bit. Now we put our little design here with the round, daisy, the carnelian, daisy, and round. And now we're at the very last step, which is putting on all these little guys here. Well, that's not the last step technically. It's the last step as far as the beads are concerned, but it's not the last step because we do need to do the put on our clasp. I think this might be a soldered ring. That's good. We'll use it. Now we put in on all these little guys here. Okay, just these last 2 beads. And where's that little cap? There it is. The cap. Now we'll put our bead stopper back on. And there she is all restrung. Now we'll see how long she's going to be, because if she's short, that means we probably are missing more beads than we thought. Yeah, it's only 8. It's not even going to be 18 inches. That's not even choker length. So I'd say she did lose some beads out of here. So what I'm going to do is, because we did appear to lose some beads with the length only being 14 inches, I mean, that's choking people length. So what we're going to do is I am going to put these on the end, but I'm also going to add an extender chain so that we don't have to worry about losing so she has some length to have some work done if she wants to have some. So I'm going to get some, crimp tubes out, and we will crimp this first side. And then I will see about some chain to put on the back for a for an extender. So let's cut the wire here. And we will crimp this side together. Now those don't seem to have very big holes in these little turquoise pieces here, so I doubt if it's gonna let me, would help if I put the crimp tube on, wouldn't it? So, but I do not believe it's going to let us go through anything but the cap, because these are small holes in our turquoise beads here. So we got that in there, and now we will crimp this. Okay. Pull this up and trim this off right inside the cap here. Roll this over to the other side. crimp tube on. Now I have to decide on what we're going to do about chain. So just going to use some of this metal gallery chain to put on the back here. And I think that this should go through this all right, because it is a good sized chain. Yeah, it does. Good. So because this is only, we said 14, right? Maybe a little longer than that with the hook on it, but it's still only, it's not even choker length. So we want at least 2 or 3 inches here. Because 16 is choker length, so that'd be choker length there. So I'm going to add 3 inches of extender chain to the back here. And we'll cut this off. And then we're going to we're just going to jump ring this straight on the chain, straight onto here. Okay, so push that down on there pretty good. Hold it in place. Make sure we're rolled down pretty good, as we appear to be. And then we crimp this right here. Pretty tight. So now we want to cut this extra cord off here. I actually usually like to have something at the bottom of my chain too, so it's a little like a decoration. So we'll see what we can find for that. I have also got these. This is just a little piece of gemstone, but it's a lot lighter color than these. But I do have a little turquoise fellow here, and we are going to I maybe can find a little tiny daisy spacer too to put in between those. This is going to be our decoration for our dangle, this little bit here. So hopefully they'll go on our pins all right, because this turquoise is very, very tiny. And if he won't, I'm going to have to get one of my tiny pins. I think I have some in silver, but I'm not sure. Ah, he goes on. There we go. I went and got a little daisy spacer. Oops, it's stuck in my fingernail. And then this little guy. There we go. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're the one that's not going to fit. pretty sad when this is the one that doesn't want to go on, as opposed to the... Goodness, that one doesn't want to either. Weird. Let's try a small agate instead. That goes on just fine. It's not going to be a big little dangle, but it'll be a nice little dangle. So we'll turn this over. Get our bell making pliers and plop those into place. Up and over and around. Bring her down and around. Straighten her some. I'm going to put this on the very end of the chain here. And we'll hold this together. Bring this one up. Get our second plier and wrap it. Cut it off. And we will tuck that piece in. So there's our little dangle at the end of our chain now. And with that on, you can get it. Let's put this on the last one here. So we can measure how long it can go. And that will be about 18, which is pretty good length. So here we go. Here is our finished necklace that we repaired. This looks like this side might be just a hair's breadth long. No, it seems to be fine. There's just a bow right there. So there is our finished necklace with its extender chain, making it be 18 inches. Without the extender chain, it's only about 15. So I figured we better have a little extender chain, since we obviously we're missing beads for finishing this off the way it probably was originally. But we got it as close as we could, so there we go. And I hope you enjoyed making this, well, repairing this with me. And hope it helped you a little bit if you are going to repair anything for anybody. Like I say, the first thing you want to do is get that photograph taken, because if you don't have the photograph, you don't know what. Once you pull it apart, you're lost. There's nothing that you'll know what to do with. So there we go. There is our finished repair job. Bye-bye. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. We'll see you next time.